so eager to see what the world's first VR MMORPG would actually be like. And honestly, it completely blew me away.
Come on, let me help you out. The name's Yori, by the way.
I'm sure it's the nerve gear that took everything up a few notches. Makes you feel like you're really in another world and not just playing a game. Where else could you experience things like that?
Oh, hey! There you are!
Feel free to call on us whenever you wish to embark on a quest.
I can cover for 2 people. Problem solved, right?
I've got intel. If you've got some coin. Rumored monster hideouts and counter skills. All yours for the low, low price of 20,000 core.
It's always about money with you, huh?
Of course. You can't browse the internet in here, so information is everything.
Do you think they're gonna make the game even harder?
Yeah. It's bound to exceed expectations.
Seems like I'll need to gather lots of new information.
When the game officially launches, let's team up again, alright?
You better believe we're coming back for you, Aincrad!
Attention players, I welcome you to my world.
I think it's in our best interest to get as strong as possible, because we were a part of the beta testing, and that will be our saving grace.
I ask because you all seem quite capable.
The others I teamed up with before were all so terrified of fighting, they stayed cooped up in town. I felt so powerless, awful, really, about being stuck in this game, unable to do anything.
I've been thinking about this! It's crazy to think dying here means dying out there!
I've only got one thing to say to you. Let's win.
Why'd you let Diablo die?
A beater, huh? It's got a nice ring to it.
I'm done. This isn't a game anymore. We might be lacking in the strength department, but we'll figure it out. We can do this.
I don't plan to wait for death.
If I beat you in a duel, will that convince you?
Where I go and why is my business. Why us?
I'm going to finish this. I can't run away now.
So, we got a lot of new news regarding the SAO verse, basically. So, Echoes of Aincrad released a story trailer and more gameplay footage from the live stream. And of course, if you guys do not know yet, Sword Art Online Gameverse, like literally the whole game, has reached a 10 million copies sold, which is insane for the whole game. I mean, like a combination of the whole game, not each of them, basically. But that's already a crazy feat and obviously achievement, so they're celebrating it by giving Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream free on PlayStation Plus, and also in Steam it'll be on 75% discount, and of course more gameplay and trailer. So I'm gonna dive a little bit deep into the story trailer. I am not a Japanese person. I only understand a few Japanese, so I can't really decipher that much. So for the story trailer, I will just talk about what I know. So the story trailer starts with a few characters that we actually see and some new characters that we haven't seen. Most of it takes place in the plains, which is in the first floor. And what's surprising to me is this whole thing sets place in the beta test. And there's this 3 new characters that we will meet in the beta test, and of course Argo will be playing a big part in basically the whole beta test game. At first I do not know if she's gonna have a lot more relevance later on, and then after that it cuts to basically Kayaba trapping everyone in the game. So we're gonna spend a little bit of our time in the closed beta, or like the beta testers. So yeah, that means there's gonna be at least 3 acts, which is the beta test, the first floor story, and of course, which is the last one, most probably the second floor. In the story trailer itself, we see a lot of new characters that we haven't seen. They look very cool, and of course, I want to say it right now as well, they add a lot of new characters that I think is really interesting. They bring back Diavil, of course, if you see here as well, and Kibao. There's also a little bit of a scene there in the first floor boss where Kirito is changing into his dark code. Basically confirms that it still falls to the same line. Kirito will still kill the last boss in the first floor. So that's all I got for the story trailer. So if you guys already see from the beginning of the video, then yeah, if you guys want to theorize or anything, you can go for it there. So the next thing that I'm gonna be talking about is more gameplay, and it's a little bit more interesting here. So the first thing that you notice in the gameplay is that the camera is on over-the-shoulder camera, which is interesting because in almost every single trailer we see or gameplay we see, it's a little bit more on the action at the very far back of the main character's body camera, which is the normal action RPG. So to see it in the over the shoulder is really interesting. So the only thing that I actually capture from Futami here, he said that he also adds an over the shoulder camera for people who enjoys to see the character a little bit up close, and of course the action RPG camera at the back as well, which is you can change anytime, is really cool, and I really enjoy that a lot. So in this live stream that is currently ongoing right now, I do not know if it ended already, actually explored some of the area in the plains here. The map looks huge. I know people are very disappointed that it's only 2 floors and not 100, which is a very far fetch, but the first floor itself looks really big already and probably has more content than we thought. The bare minimum they could have done with 2 floors. We do not know what second floor looks like, so this is the first floor right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe this is the second floor. If I'm wrong, it's okay for you guys to just point it out. Now, from the gameplay that I see here, the over-the-shoulder looks very interesting, as I said earlier, but I think it looks a lot better in a more action camera, because it actually kind of reveals a little bit more of the jankiness of the animation of the character movings, and also just how goofy it looks at times. But literally, it is not a complaint or a deal breaker. It's just like what I think. It still looks good as well. I will probably play on both camera however I like. It depends on my mood. More things that I actually caught on from the showcase is that the enemies actually move amazingly. And what do I mean by that? It's actually impressive how the enemies attack you and damage you and do dodges and all that. Now sure, that is the bare minimum of enemies in every single video games, but in not every single, but like in most Sora Online games, the enemies are very brain dead. They're just like, they only have 3 movesets and it deals a lot of damage, which makes you dodge, and that's probably it. In here we see them actually moving and grooving, and I like it. Fractured Daydream did that. Of course, the Fatal Bullet did that, but Aquaria games more or less just stand still or just do nothing. So it's very good to see that the enemies react how they should have reacted, you know. And also, if you guys see from this specific scene, if you guys keep rolling and attack or get damaged and basically knocked back, you can see your suit or your armors getting dirtied. That is a very cool little detail that people will like. Obviously, I will like as well. It brings a lot of immersion to it, and sure, it gets clean by just running or just by walking, but it is still a very cool detail to see that every single movement that we take also affects because of the surroundings, and it's really cool. It's really cool. So we actually learn of how the main character is going to be involved in the first boss layer or the first floor boss fight, which is actually interesting. So the main character received an invitation from a young man named Diavil to participate in a meeting to discuss how to conquer the first floor. Diavil declares that he will form a raid team with those who possess power and work together to defeat the boss for the first floor. I'm assuming this happens right in the middle of the game, or probably a few hours after the start of the game. So yeah, to see that Diablo plays a part as well, plays a little bit more part, I think, in this game. Cool, you know. And of course, as we see from the trailer earlier, there's a scene where Kirito still plays the beater role, so most likely Diablo still falls to his demise, but it is very cool to see that. So there are two new characters that we haven't seen in the trailer, but probably you have seen one of them in the Twitter. One of them called Wise Man and the other is Sayu. So Wise Man, he was in the same party as us in the beta test. He's a setting enthusiast and actively tries to conquer SAO, which has turned into a dev game. So basically, he is your friend from the beta test who likes to play the game, who tried to conquer SAO, which turns into the dev game that we all know. And then the other one's called Sayu, and she is a member of the party who played with the protagonist during the beta tester as well. She is a very cheerful mood maker, and from the trailer we saw, she's very dumbfounded and very delusional. The fact that she is trapped there and her eyes, the lights in her eyes disappeared. So I'm probably gonna like take a guess here. One of these people are gonna die, so just prepare for yourself for that. And then of course we have Josh, which is the mostly used partner in the gameplay showcase earlier. He is a young man who is loyal friend and wields a two-handed sword. They encounter the protagonists who were searching for allies for their battles. They did not specifically say it was in the beta test, so this is probably during or probably after the reveal that they are stuck in the game. This character looks really cool. He looks very cool design as well, and some of his movesets really nice, and the synchronized attack with the main protagonist, if you guys see already, looks amazing. Now, as for now, that is the most news I can cover. Of course, with more time, I'm gonna make more to understand more of the trailers, more probably gameplay reveal soon. So this is the most like first impression or very early stages of the new updates. So if you guys want to see more in the future, please subscribe and like as well. I really appreciate it a lot. So far, there is nothing more update regarding Unanswered Butterflies, so this is the two that we know so far. So yeah, I will see you guys on to the next video. Goodbye.